program. We heartily welcome Mr. Sanjay Kapoor, Business Consultant and Advisor, President HME. Darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that. I request Professor R. Anantama, Mr. Sanjay Kapoor, Mrs. Dhanam Prasad, Mr. Ganesh Anand, and one student to come forward for lighting the lamp. Thank you all. Prayer is aligning ourselves with the purpose of God. I call upon Ms. Magdalene to lead us in prayer, and I request all of you to stand up for prayer.
Scripture portion taken from the book of Psalms, chapter 138. I will praise you, O Lord, with all my heart. Before the gods, I will sing your praise. I will bow down towards your holy temple and will praise your name. For your love and your faithfulness, for you have exalted above all things your name and your word. When I called, you answered me. You made me bold and stout-hearted. May all the kings of the earth praise you, O Lord. When they hear the words of your mouth, may they sing of the ways of the Lord. For the glory of the Lord is great. Though the Lord is on high, he looks upon the lowly. But the proud he knows from far off. Though I walk in the midst of trouble, you preserve my life. You stretch out your hand against the anger of my foes. With your right hand you save me. The Lord will fulfill his purpose for me. Your love, O Lord, endures forever. Do not abandon the works of your hands. Amen. Let's look to the Lord in prayer. Most gracious, loving Heavenly Father, we praise thee and thank thee, O God, our Master. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this hour, O God, Master. Thank you for each and every child of yours present here, O Lord. We also pray for our college. We also pray for our principal, O God, Master. We pray for each and every faculty member here. We pray for the dignitaries here, O God, Master. Shower your mightyful blessings upon each and every child of yours, O God. God, thank you for everything, O God, Master. Thank you for the talents you have engraved in children, O God, Master. Thank you for the skills, O God, Master. We as teachers, as we are trying to imbibe knowledge in these children, O God, Master. Help us to imbibe the right knowledge in them, O God, so that they may climb the ladder of success and fly with great colors, O God, Master, and give great name to their parents, to the society, and to the college, and to the teachers, O God. God, everything into your mighty care, and I put forth all these requests unto your sweetest feet. In the name of the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, I pray. Amen.
Thank you, ma'am. I request Mr. Sanjay Kapoor to take his seat on the dais. I call upon Grishma to present a floral bouquet to our guest speaker, Mr. Sanjay Kapoor. Thank you, Grishma. I would like to start the session by introducing our guest speaker, Mr. Sanjay Kapoor, Business Consultant and Advisor, President, HME. It's my honor to introduce our speaker, Mr. Sanjay Kapoor. Sir has a vast experience of 33 years in diverse fields of sales, marketing, and techno-commercial operations of the companies in industrial products, software services, medical equipment, exhibition, conferences, event sector, transportation business, and managing Chamber of Commerce and NGOs. He has been associated with international giants of repute like Larsen & Toubro, India, ITW, Technical Thailand, Adapto, Egypt, Switzerland, 3M Egypt, AI Sahavi Group, Dubai, and Praxair Tafa, USA. He has been a global trotter and an able leader who has always earned the goodwill of people as well as the companies wherever he has worked. His experience of overseas market has seen him in the highest levels of corporate business development. He has the vision to foresee contingency and the method to overcome them, which places him way above the rest, as well the help that galvanizes people who are at home in his company to reach their respective targets. In the last corporate role as the GM and Head Corporate Communication and Non-Fare Business of L&T Metro Rail Limited for the most prestigious yet very challenging project, Hyderabad Metro Rail, he has set a new benchmark for the industry both in corporate communication and non-fare business of advertising and retail. He is the president and life member of Hyderabad Management Association. He has been conferred with numerous recognitions. A few of them are Udyog Ratna by Delhi Telugu Academy in 2018, Business Leader Award for Innovative PR by TV5, won the Excellence in Marketing Award from Federation of Andhra Pradesh Chamber of Commerce and Industries, featured as one of the trailblazers of Hyderabad in the first Trailblazer Coffee Table book in December 2011. Currently, he is a freelancing consultant for infrastructure, non-fare revenue for transportation sector and channel management. Now, I invite Sir to address the students on industry management experiences and expectations. Thank you.
Good morning. Morning, sir. I see a lot of seats empty in the front. Can I request some people from the back benches to come in the front? Please. I don't want you to be sitting so behind. Come on. Front seat should be filled up.
Yeah, please come forward. You can come in front. Come. That side. One of the
That's fine. I can see.
Come, I want all those 5 students to get up and come. All those 5.
Okay.
Empty chairs you can take. Get up all 5.
I'm comfortable.
Here you can come. Come.
Okay, I will say good morning once again. Can you please repeat good morning to me? Good morning, sir. Very good. So, I am very pleased to be here today among all of you. More pleased because after a long time I am having a physical meeting. I must salute the braveness of the college as well as the participants here that you have taken the bravery out of COVID and are present here in the physical form. So good luck to you, and I hope that you all will take the precautions to be safe. Okay, so I normally, can you please sit down please? I normally try to talk about my experiences of life right from the days when I was just like you. And those experiences have not changed. It has not changed at all. The mode and the ways of doing those things might have changed, but the basic requirement of doing businesses have not changed. And I can start with a small anecdote about a business model which all of you are aware of. But before doing that, I just want to tell you one simple thing. Take a deep breath. Don't be in any kind of tension at all. We all go through this process of learning, and learning is a continuous process. Important thing is that you should be using your common sense. I'll tell you a very small story on this common sense. Few years back, I was supposed to be attending an interview for an Egyptian cement company for a director level position. And after multiple rounds of programs and interviews, I was finally put in front of the 7 directors of that company. There were other 4 people who were also selected and have reached to that level. And when I was being interviewed by them, one of the lady director asked me, why should we select you? And this is a question which most of you will be facing when you will finish your graduation and will look for the job or will get into your entrepreneurial journey. So I said, I have common sense. So she laughed and she said, everybody has got a common sense. I said, I use it also. I got selected, but I never joined them back. The point is, life is very simple. We only make it complicated. So have a deep breath. Just use your common sense. Ask questions to yourselves and the answers will come on to you again and again. So that small thing about business which I was talking about, I'm very sure that you are all aged between 20 to 25. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Have you seen that old yellow and black color taxi whenever you have traveled in some parts of the world or India? You have traveled in that taxi. So you have an experience that about 20, 25, 15 years back, we used to travel by booking a taxi, used to wait for it, sometimes the taxi will come, sometimes it will not come. But see the situation a couple of years back when Uber and Ola was introduced to us. We had a very different kind of an experience. I will tell you, when Ola was first introduced in Hyderabad, I was that time working with ITW, and ITW president told me, and he is an hardcore Hyderabadi his family has been here from last 300 years, and he told me that, Sanjay, nobody is going to take this Ola because we all Hyderabadis don't want to invest more than 50 rupees in the biryani. So this is going to cost them 400 rupees from the city to the airport, and nobody is going to do that. But see the situation. Today, none of you people do anything else if you want to have a transport, and if you don't have your own transport, you will only call for Ola. What has changed? Did the car change? Did the transportation method change? It is only the business model that changed. So the thought process, somebody had that sense, which I call it common sense, and he was or she was able to implement that into a business model. And that's how Uber came, and that's how Ola came. Do you know that what is the next thing which is going to come in? Have you heard of it in the same transportation business? Very soon, and it is already launched in countries like United States. Very soon you will have an opportunity of using your own car, driving it as what Ola and Uber drivers are doing. So that means you will be there on the app if you have a car, and somebody can ask for your travel requirement, and you will go them and drive down to different places, and you will earn. What does it mean? It means, and which happens in US and European countries, that you as students, while you are studying, you can drive such kind of cars and earn extra money for yourself. So this is a business model. Nothing has changed. It is only the way that business is getting conducted today has changed. So my humble request to you is, when you have come to this college, you have taken admission, you have 2 years. Always try to find solutions to the problem. Everybody has a problem. But when you go to your teacher, or when you go to a prospective person who is going to be your employer, or whether you want to be an entrepreneur, always try to find what could be the possible solution of a problem which you are thinking of. Discuss with people. See, your mind will work only in one way. But when you talk to 10 other people, their ideas might change. And that is why in today's world, teamwork is a very in thing. People as old as me probably will still not like that teamwork kind of a thing, because we have been brought up in a different kind of situations. But let me tell you, teamwork pays a lot in terms of coming out of the right solutions. And study is only one part of it. What you see in the college, what you get involved into the debates, into the sports, into various extracurricular activities, listen to people, that is going to give you some kind of a learning, which you should not only learn and listen, but also practice in your life, in whatever way it is possible. And that practical experience of yours is going to count a hell of a thing when you go into your professional atmosphere. So I will try to share how much time I have. Okay, I will try to share 2 stories of my life. Don't look at those stories as my life stories, and don't look at that I am trying to portray myself. Look at from the learning point of view, and after that particular story I will ask you that what actually you learned from it. So please listen to them carefully. I will try to do it 2, if not 2, maybe at least 1 I will certainly do. So I will give you a first story which I had an experience long back, and that was when I was just as young as you are, and I was selected in the campus interview, and I was selected by many companies, but I decided to join a very small company. That small company that time was a part of a very large group called Toshniwal Groups, if you have heard of them. They were into manufacturing of engineering college test rigs and medical equipments like ECG monitors and ECG machines, etc., etc. And I was selected by them, and I was posted in their branch office in Delhi. And when I joined them, the person who was the branch manager of that, he hailed from Bangalore. His name was Mr. Bhaskar Rao. Mr. Rao gave me a briefing about the company, and then said that next week I will like you to go to a tour of the West India, mostly in the Maharashtra area, because that time most of the private colleges were located, the private engineering colleges were located in the Maharashtra area. And since they were the supplier of equipments to the engineering colleges, He wanted me to go and have a tour of each and every college to see and learn how the business is being done. So that time I was of course not allowed to travel by flights. I was supposed to go by train. There was no mobile phone. I'm talking about 1986. There was no mobile phone during those periods. So we were supposed to give the reports every day. So wherever I am, I'm writing a report on a pen and paper, putting it into an envelope. There was no speed post, so I have to put it into a post box, and it will take another 10-15 days to reach them. So when I was finally going, I asked them, "Sir, what is your expectation from me during this tour?" So he said, "I have no expectation from you. I want you to learn, experience, and see how we are doing business in those areas, and try to interact with the right people there." I said, "Fine, sir." While I was leaving his office, he also asked me to stop and said, "Sanjay, there is also a tender which is due in an engineering college in Akola, which is in Maharashtra, which is for a purchase of lot of engineering test rigs, and you may like to attend that negotiation meeting. This is a consortium of about 25 colleges who have put together this requirement, and you may go and attend that." So I said that, what am I supposed to do that? He said, "You will not get the order, and we have never got the order there. So you just go and listen and see how the negotiation happens." So this was the brief which was given to me, and after that I left, and I went to many colleges by train, traveling all the way. And after the 17th day, I reached to this place where the negotiation was to be done. When I went to the negotiation room, there were about 30 vendors who were sitting, and there were 6 people who are from the management committee. So they were started asking everybody, "So this is your code, how much discount you are going to give?" And this is the way that whole negotiation proceedings were happening. And when they came to me and asked me how much discount you are going to give, so I told them, "Sir, my price, if I understand, is 30% higher than everybody else who is sitting in the room. And even if I give you 20-25% discount, my prices will still be higher than anybody else. So you are not going to give me the order." And the history is there from last at least a decade that you have never given an order to us, to this company. So there is no point of my giving you any discount. But if you allow me to speak for 3-4 minutes, I will give you certain solutions for what you are looking at, if you permit. So they said, "Okay, you please say whatever but be very quick on that." So I told them that I am an engineering student. I have just passed out and joined a company, and I know what happens into the engineering colleges. What is my pain area as an engineering college, working in the engineering colleges workshops? Most of the time, the test rigs which you buy, they don't work. And we get the results of the exams of Viva or whatever we do, or practical exams in that workshops. We get the marks not because of what actually we can do, but just because we are supposed to get the marks there. So if you are able to provide a working workshops to your students, your level of credibility is going to increase among the engineering colleges. And mind you, you work on higher fees today, and people will, or the aspiring engineering students will be luring to you because of that reason. So that will become a USP for you. Second thing I told them, that you are a consortium of 25 colleges within a vicinity of 200 kilometers of each other. Now if suppose any machine goes wrong, nobody comes to you to repair it. So that what happens, you buy that machine, and after 6 months or 1 year that is dumped. I will post a service engineer in one of the colleges who is going to cater to those 25 colleges here whenever there is a problem in the machine. If you feel that this can compensate for 30% of the discount which you are looking for me, because I am providing a much more value than that real money which you are looking as a discount, please consider it. And that's what I said. After the meeting, they told me that we will like to discuss this matter separately with you. and they told all the vendors that they will finalize the whole thing tomorrow, next week. Then they called me separately and they said, whatever you have said makes sense to us, but we still want to have the discount. And we discussed a lot on that. I said, look, I have no authority to give you the discount, but I will give you further leverages on that. And my next leverage to you is that you pay all the money in advance to these vendors because they are giving you discount. What I will do is that you can send one of your nominated person before the material is dispatched from our factory, and you can inspect that. After the inspection, you can pay us 90% of the money, and 10% you can pay the money when the material comes to you and get installed by our service engineer. So you are sure that you are getting a good material on it. The other thing which I will do for you is, just because your ego needs to be satisfied, even though I don't have that authority, I will give you 5% discount. And after that, I got that order of 32 lakhs rupees from them with an advance check of 10%. The story doesn't end here, but I will take a pause and I would like to ask all of you, what are the 3 things you think you have learned from this story? Anybody? And I have got this book which I wrote about my experience of life, named as The Corpiner. Whosoever is going to give me the best answer, I'll give one of the book to that student. Please. Anybody?
You will not get if you don't ask.
You will not get if you don't ask. Okay? One second. Decision making. I'm sorry? Okay. I'm sorry? Okay.
Negotiation. And use your common sense that you did not give up.
I don't know whether I'm correct or not, but as you said that you have got many opportunities, like many job opportunities, but you have chosen that job which you are getting more experience and like advantage of that particular job where you have like gaining experience in some
Okay,
job.
I got it. My question was related to this story in terms of the learning of the business. How do you conduct the business? That's what's more important. Yes, somebody here.
Thinking
Yes.
about the problem and solving it.
I'm sorry?
Thinking about the problem and solving it.
Okay. What else?
Negotiation.
Lateral thinking.
Negotiation.
I'm sorry?
Negotiation. Understanding the situation. Solving every problem.
Okay. What else? You that in black cardigan, you wanted to say something?
Yes, sir, I was about to say.
Yeah, please say.
Negotiations.
I think that gentleman who was there behind you. You said something, no? You stand up. Yes, you said something. Can you repeat it?
Thinking about the problem and solving it.
I think that is one of the right answers which he has given. Please understand, everybody will go there and give the discount or not give the discount. What did I do? No, I did not convince them. No, they got themselves convinced. What did I do?
Common sense. Quality service.
I understood their pain area. First of all, you have to understand the pain area. What was their pain area? They wanted to get a discount. Actually, they were not looking for discount. They were looking for value. And I gave them the solution of value. I said, I am coming from that pain area, being an engineering student, and I will solve this problem. Why don't you get a service engineer, see that your equipments are always working in a proper shape, and give this communication to your prospective students. Now tell me, I'll give you a simple answer here. If St. Joseph has a track record of, let's say, just for an example, of 20% placement after the MBA, is it not a USP for any prospective client or every prospective student? It is. The same thing I understood that pain area. That is your pain area. Every student who comes to the college because they want to get into the professional life. And if some surety is given or some level of surety is given, you will always prefer that as compared to others. So you are getting a value out of it. So first thing is you understand the pain area. What is the pain of that person or a situation? and then you give the solution, which is you don't have to convince. If you give the right solution to them, they will get convinced themselves, unless or until they have an ego. But even then there itself I solve their ego also by giving that 5% discount. Okay, so we'll move on to the story. Do you think that was a great thing? The job is done? Huh? So what could be the problem now? One by one, 1 minute. Convincing?
Office.
Convincing office. Who said that? Okay. Who else? What else you can say?
You didn't have the authority, but still you give 5% discount, so you have to convince your head.
Absolutely correct. So now I think that gentleman, I will give one book. And 2 of you have given the right answer, so I don't know whom to give the book. You decide among themselves, but definitely you get it. I think you are right. The biggest issue was now that I had no authority. But still I have taken the order of 32 lakhs rupees with a 10% advance and I have to go. Now under this situation, what will you do? What will you do in this situation? Thank you very much. I think Thank you. Yes. So, what will you do? You have identified the problem. The problem is you have no authority, you have exceeded your authority, and now you have to go and convince your boss. And these are practical situations which is going to happen in every corporate where you work. What will you do?
You would convince your boss because last 1 decade you would not get any order from them, so this would be the best opportunity.
I will do the convincing, but how will I do the convincing?
Because that college has linked with 25 more.
No, I agree with you, but how will I do the convincing? Here convincing is very clear. How will I convince my boss?
So you brought
By using your promises.
So you will say that
Okay.
By your
so you will say that this company haven't came for the order any time. This is the history that I have braved it and I've given you the best.
You are all right. I wish I had the time. I would have done a role play here. That is what is the training part of it. But I will skip that part for right now, and I'll tell you what did I do. Okay. I took that order advance. I wrote the email sitting on that Akola railway station that night with my report. But I was very sure that I will reach to the office before the report will reach. So I posted it because that was a ritual which I have to do. And I reached the office about 12 days later, and I went to the office and met Mr. Rao. But he was busy, so he said we will meet after 2-3 hours. So when he was free, he called me, and he said, "So how was the visit? Tell me what happened." So I gave him all the talk. I went to this, I went to this, and I went to this, and I did not say anything to him. So I said I also went to that negotiation, and I have some question to ask you. So he said, "Yes, tell me." So I said, "Sir, in case you have to give a discount to get an order and you are assured that you will get an order, what is the kind of discount you will give?" He said, "Sanjay, it's an hypothetical question, there's no point because we will never get that." I said, because I am into a training mode right now, I will like to understand from you still. He said, "Probably will give 10% order." So I said, 10% discount. So I said, how much money do we make if we give 10% discount on that? So he said that we make about 100% of profit in this particular. So I said, will you, because this is going to be a big business, will you consider appointing somebody in that region so that you can get repeat orders by giving services? He said, "Yeah, if you get about that kind of a business, why not? But first business has to come. We can't force people like it because it's a cost to us." I said, "Fine, sir. And how do you expect the payment in such kind of situation?" He said, "I expect the payment that we should, supply the material and we get the money." So I said, "Fine." Then I took out the order and I gave it to him with the advance. I said, "We have collected this order, 32 lakhs rupees with an advance of 10%. And these are the terms and conditions under which I have done." He just looked at that order. He did not say anything to me for 2 minutes. And then he stood up and saluted. And he accepted, which was supposed to be. Now, we are all very clearly discussed this, that this is convincing I have to do. What was the difference which I did in my convincing? And what did you learn from it? Can anybody tell me?
You made him say what you wanted to say.
Absolutely correct. I did not go and boast that, sir, I have collected 32 lakhs rupees order, this is the 10%. If I would have done, let me tell you, that person would have a 10% chances, would have said, no, you have not done right, this is not our policy, this is not our process. One thing which I want to tell you is that it is you which is more important than anybody else. If you have a conviction and confidence and you are moving in the right direction, the processes and the policies of the companies will change for that. You have to follow the process and policies of the companies. But if you want them to be changed, companies should see that they are getting benefited out of it. And that is the way which we call it analytical thinking. And this analytical thinking will help you to grow more than what your peers are. Because ultimately you are adding value to the company. Please remember in this case, my boss did not have any expectation from me. That was the first thing he told me. If I would have gone, enjoyed my life touring all these places, traveling, which any youngster will love to do it, and gone back without empty-handed, nothing would have changed for me. But within that 1 month, 1.5 months of thing, I got the business of 32 lakhs rupees. And that is what was, forget about what goodies I got from the company, it was the biggest moral booster for me as a youngster. So what I'm trying to convey you is, it is you who have to find the pain area, who have to find the solution, who have to implement it, and you may be failing also. I mean, this is a good story which I have told you. There are equal number of failure stories which I have got, which only help me to learn from them. So don't be bothered about the failure. Don't feel that if you were in my place and you would have gone there and you have not been able to convince them and get the order, nothing changes. But that gives you an experience. And that experience is more important than anything else. Okay? So I end this first story. How much time we have, ma'am? Till 1 o'clock. No, 1 o'clock is too long for me. Okay, fine. I will give you one more story. That story is related to Hyderabad. Okay, so you will be able to align yourself with that. I am a little confused. Which story should I tell you? Should I tell you a story about High-Tech Exhibition Center, or should I tell you about the Hyderabad Metro Rail? In Hyderabad Metro Rail also I had two stories. One story is related to corporate communication and one story is related to business. Which story you want to know? Okay, fine. So I have been with L&T for almost 33 years. And I was the CEO of High-Tech Exhibition Center. It was an L&T venture with Andhra Pradesh government that time. So 51% was with L&T and 49% was with 4 constituents of Andhra Pradesh government, which is APTTC, APIIC, GHMC and the Tourism Board of Andhra Pradesh that time. So we were running, L&T was running and I was the person who was running that thing. So that story we will not tell. But however, after that I was transferred from High-Tech Exhibition Center to L&T Metro Rail when L&T got the order of this Metro Rail to be constructed here. And I'm sure that story is 8 years old. So I'm sure something will be there in your minds. Why I know 8 years old, but today something which I posted 8 years back on the Facebook, popped on my Facebook today morning telling me this happened today in related to Hyderabad Metro Rail, and that is very important for me. You see the logo of Hyderabad Metro Rail? What is that logo? 3 lines, na? Right. That logo was created and launched today on this date 8 years back. Can you guess how much would be the cost of that logo? Guess it. How much would be the cost of creating that logo? Anybody please? Yes? 3 to 4 lakhs. Anybody else?
20 lakhs.
20 lakhs. Anybody else? Huh?
Few thousand.
50 rupees. How did you say 50 rupees? I mean, just because you wanted to say, or there is a reason behind it?
If we want to create a logo, we can use the technology which is available for it.
Okay, I think I like that answer, to be very honest. Is too generous. Actually, it costed me 2,000 rupees. And there were quotes which were as good as 30 lakhs, 40 lakhs. Topmost creative companies of India were asked for that and they have quoted it. But I didn't agree to that. I said we will create our own logo. I used a very small company of Hyderabad. I didn't tell him that this logo is for Hyderabad Metro Rail. I said there is a possibility I want to have a sketch of it. I will use it. I signed an NDA with him that it is my property after you prepare it, and we settled it 2,000 rupees. This is another story which I don't want to get into right now. I'll get into that business part of the story of it. So when I joined L&T Metro Rail, I was put into an assignment, and one of that assignment I have never done in my life. In fact, whatever assignments I have done in my last 35 years of life, I have never repeated that assignment. If I have sold an industry, if I am a seller of an industrial product, I have moved out of that and then I have gone to information technology, and then I have gone to medical equipments, and then I have gone to event industry, and then I have run an NGO, or then transport. So none of the things which I have done has I had any experience of that in the past. Because I believe two things are very important for any person to succeed. One is using a common sense, and second is application of mind. So my bosses in L&T, they thought probably I am the right person for that work, and they picked me up from there and put it into L&T Metro. And the two jobs which I had is that I have to run the corporate communication office, and I have to develop the non-fare business part of L&T. So corporate communication is another story which we will tell some other time. The business revenue part of non-fare, if just to take you back, L&T Metro, when they bidded for this metro rail, they had done their own homework, and it was the largest project L&T has ever bidded in their entire history. And there was the largest loan they have taken from anybody in the market. And this was the largest loan which any Indian company consortium has ever given to anybody for a business. So all that factors were there in that. Now, under those circumstances, while L&T was a great company in terms of construction and engineering, they have no knowledge about handling public. They are not an FMCG company. I am very sure 10 years before, nobody knew in the household what L&T is, because L&T was only on the construction, engineering, defense, other, which people like you and me don't bother about it too much. Under those circumstances, this was an order where they were supposed to answer to 1.4 crore people of Greater Hyderabad. And don't forget that this order had put down one of the biggest information technology company of the world down the drain. That was Satyam. Satyam went down because of Hyderabad Metro Rail. Okay? Under those circumstances, with no background of any quality of that, they wanted somebody to handle that corporate communication part. So they picked me, who had no experience of corporate communication. Okay, so I will not deal with that. But the second part of that was non-fare business. So out of 100 rupees which L&T was supposed to spend, 55 rupees was supposed to come from the fare. That is the ticket which people will buy over the period of time. So 55 rupees was supposed to come from that. Then about 45 rupees, 40 rupees was supposed to come from the transit-oriented development for the retail, which you see the malls which they have created. That business would have given them about 40% of the money. And 5% of the money they were supposed to get from non-revenue business. What is non-revenue business? Anything which is not related to tickets or this large ticket idea of TOD, transit oriented development, which is advertising, which is Wi-Fi network, It could be any small thing, retails, small retails on the station, etc. And that business is known as non-fare business, and that business was also given to me to handle. And again, my requirement only 5% or 5 rupees of that 100 rupees which they were supposed to get. L&T was supposed to make money within 7 years of that construction, which they will not even make for 70 years to come. That's a different story. But with this background, and again, I have no knowledge about advertising. I have never done advertising business in my life. So it was launched, and I was given that responsibility, and I had 3 people in my team. And my target for the first year was given as about 5 crore rupees. And that too as a future business, not an immediate business, because there was no construction which has started that time. Now, in such kind of situation, what will you do? I will repeat the benchmark. The company has given me a situation that I have to deal non-fare business. 5 rupees, as I told you, or 5% is the requirement over a period of 7 years. So if after 7 years they have to take, it was expected after 7 years 250 crore rupees, 50 crore rupees will come from this non-fare business after 7 years. And my target for the first year was given that I should be able to book at least 5 crore rupees, which may mature after 5 years. Am I clear on that? Right? Under these circumstances, what will you do? There is no experience. You are also having no experience. What will you do if you are given that responsibility? And I am asking you because tomorrow your teachers might give you a responsibility that I am making you the head of the events to be done for this college, and I am not going to give you a penny for that, but you are supposed to do 10 events in a year. That is a situation similar to my situation. So you will find out a solution. So what solution do you recommend to me for this matter? I'm sorry? Okay, parking is there. What will you do with parking? What will you do? See, advertising, parking, Wi-Fi, they are all possible business attractors. But what exactly you will do to get the money in your pocket?
Sponsor, collect funds.
Why will people sponsor you for that? It's a business. It's not an event. It's a business. What is that business model you will bring it to the table that people will invest money and buy that products or services from you? I'm sorry? Okay, I think we are short of time. I'll tell you what we did. So what I did for advertising, I said, let us not get into the situation which everybody is doing. What is when the word advertisement is told to every one of you, what comes to your mind first? A board, a hoarding, a newspaper ad, these kind of things comes to your, or maybe a digital platform ad coming on any of the social media. What else comes to your mind? Can you tell me? Anything else comes to your mind? So I told we will not do any of these. It's a bold decision. People called me idiot that time and many times. So I said we will not do that business. We will create something new. And mind you, that word create is very important. So what I did is, I studied the metro rails of the world. That time there are 238 metro rails operating in the world. And I studied that what is the way they are making money apart from the revenue part, which is the ticket business. So I found that there are only 3 metro rails in the world who have tried doing something different, but they were not 100% successful. And what was that difference? The difference was they were selling the names of the stations to the prospective brands. So you might have heard of, that was an idea which we had later on. But in India, Rapid Metro Gurgaon was doing that similar kind of business. Dubai was doing it, and Spain was doing it. These were the 3, metro rails who have been going into that business. So we said we are going to do this. Again, when I sat down with my people, they said, how is it going to be possible? Not a single pillar has been dug here, and you are talking that some brand is going to give you money for that? Actually, they were right. I put my head together for 6 months and I selected 100 brands of India. I went and met each and every brand manager of that 100 companies. And the result was a big zero. So it's about the failure I am talking about. So I have been given a job. I decided to do a different way. Whatever I could do, I did the research. I went to those 100 brands, but none of them was able to get convinced with what I was talking. So convincing is not important. Then I realized during that discussion with them and talking to this 100 brand managers that there are 3 things what happens in advertising business. One is these brand managers are actually not the decision makers. They are given the budget for the year. And they are also told that under this budget you are supposed to do 20, 30, 40 campaigns in this particular year. They don't decide that. They only execute. And I was selling a product which was going to cost them 5 crore rupees because that's the price I fixed for one station, 5 crore rupees for 5 years. So they have no authority to do that kind of thing. Second thing I realized that their mind is very, very narrow. They only see at brand activation part. They don't see anything else. So after 6 months, I changed my strategy. And I said that I'm going to meet, and believe me, I did not depend on any of my team members for this matter. I said I'm going to meet either the CEO or the CFO of that particular company. So we started going to the CEO and the CFO of the company. The first company I went to was Synchrony Financial, our Hyderabad high-tech city. And I was able to close my first order within 2 hours. Why? Why did I go to Synchrony Financial? And why was I able to close down that order? Can anybody tell me? I don't have a magic wand. Nobody has. How did that order come close? Not a single pillar was there into the city. I sold a dream to them that after 5 years, when the high-tech city station will come, then only you will be able to do your advertisement, for which we will settle the price today at 5 crore rupees and you will have to pay 10% of that to me right now. How was I able to? Can anybody tell me? Again, it's a role play thing, but we can't do it here.
They focused on advertisement.
I'm sorry?
Synchrony was focused on advertisement.
I don't know who is speaking. It's the master. Yeah, please tell me.
They were focused on advertisement.
No.
So the direct with the decision maker, not the executor.
Fine, but then why will decision maker put 5 crore rupees just listening to me? What would I have told him?
The company was waiting for the future because maybe after the metro railway reform, you will charge a high price and now it's 10% discount.
No.
Because it brings business to them.
Who is speaking? What is that?
Because it brings business to them.
What is that? I didn't understand.
Because it brings business to them.
Not necessarily. What else? Again, I think you are not understanding. You have to see what makes them a business reason for doing that. What is that indirect pain area for them?
Yes, brand image.
Possibly, but it's still not very clear to that. So I'll tell you what is. Before going to Synchrony Financial, let me also tell you I did a study on this 100 brands. Research in your life, just going to somebody doesn't make any sense. We have been taught in L&T, I did a 45 days training period when I joined L&T, and I called it as a commando training. And that training is the base of my foundation for whatever I am today. Research is very important. So I researched those 100 companies. And out of that 100 companies, I picked up the brands which were national brands but sitting in Hyderabad. Because it was easy for me to talk to them rather than traveling to other cities. The second thing was, I came to know when I was doing the research that there is 20 crore rupees worth of money for next 7 years, year after year, has been granted to Synchrony Financial by their parent company in US to create a brand image. Okay, so now I know that there is a money in the pocket of yours. I know they are going to do that brand campaigning. So what was my job? My job to see that how I can get a part of that money into my pocket. Right? So what did I do then? Now my first hurdle is done. I know they have the money in the pocket. There's no point going to a person who doesn't have a money in the pocket. I mean, if you want to go and sell Mercedes to somebody who is, doesn't have 100 rupees in the pocket, it's useless. You're wasting your time. So what will you do now? Anybody? Yes.
You make them like understand, you give a picture of how it is going to be in 5 years, so they'll dream about it, and then if they are convinced enough, then they do also.
You are near to it, but I still want more concrete answer to it. Yes, please.
By convincing.
Convincing you have to do, but what is that you will do to convince?